footage that we've been getting, and New York, the office I work out of, cut a little 2-minute trailer together, and to say that we exceeded the expectation of the National Geographic Channel is an understatement. They went completely crazy for this stuff because they didn't know what we could get. They didn't understand really what happens at the border. They didn't understand how interesting it was, how exciting it was, how dangerous it can be, how dedicated these officers are. They just didn't really know. And when we showed them just that first 2 weeks of filming, the network got behind this project really almost like nothing I've ever seen before in my career, and I've worked on a lot of television shows. And what happened was this thing started taking a life of its own because the network got very excited about what they saw. And as we began to really finish the films, they got more excited. And then they started really doing what you need a network to do to be successful, which is promotion and publicity and getting the word out. Long story short, we premiered on January 10th with a program, I'll show you a little bit of it later. And we premiered, as we premiered, we became instantly the highest rated premiere in the history of the National Geographic Channel. And we realized we'd really caught lightning in a bottle, but I think what we really realized was that the nation, the audience, was hungry for information. We've all seen news reports about the border. We see it now more than ever. We've all read newspaper reports about the border. You all live near here. You know more than most people do. I'm talking about folks who live in Minnesota. And they know of it, but because of the relationship that we were able to forge with the CBP and DHS, and because of the trust they had in National Geographic, me and my crew were able to get closer to the action. We got to be embedded deeper into the reality of what goes on down here. And we were able to capture images and moments that no one had ever seen before. And it really has been extremely gratifying and for all of us on my crew to be able to tell this story. It's one of the funniest things. It's like the elephant in the room that nobody ever saw before. I mean, the story of the CBP, the story of Border Patrol, OFO, Air and Marine, the work that these men and women do is huge, and yet no one ever really told their story properly. Or at least this is what the Border Patrol and guys in Nogales told me. They said to me, which was very gratifying, that no one really understood what they did till we showed what they did. Their wives and their girlfriends and their mothers didn't understand what they did when they went off to work every day. So for us, it's been a real privilege in order to get this close to the action and to be able to tell this story. I do want to introduce Bill Anthony. I want you to just take a moment to, because this man here is our guru. Without Bill Anthony, none of this would have been possible. Bill works in Washington at CBP Headquarters of Public Affairs, and he's the one who really made this happen. He made the relationship work. He worked us through all the things that one has to go through to work for the federal government. He's built this thing up inside the department, and the result has been that once we finish these shows, the embrace that we've had from CBP has been amazing. And once these shows aired, and we went to San Diego, and we went to Florida and Puerto Rico, and we went to McAllen, and now that we're here, this is our 5th location. Now, just like here in Laredo, we've been welcomed by the agents and the officers. They're excited to be on the show. They feel we've represented them well. And of course, all that means for us is we get better cooperation everywhere we go. We get more access. We get more exciting images and stories to tell. I'm going to play this thing here. Now, this is a sizzle reel, not unlike the one that got everything started back in Nogales. But this was done, I made this to show some of the agents out here. And this is what we did recently in McAllen, Texas. So you'll relate to it because it's right down the river. If I get this thing to work, fingers crossed.